worshiped like the Creator. He felt justified to be raised up that way. But God, in his justice, cast him out of heaven and a third of heaven with him. With that same angst and hate towards God in heaven, Satan, Lucifer, whispered in the ear of Cain and had Cain convinced that because Abel made this sacrifice to God that was a lamb, and Cain made this sacrifice of the work that he'd done, the fruit of the field, and God rejected Cain's and he accepted Abel's, that Cain was so upset he killed his brother. What was the deal? Cain didn't understand that there was symbology associated with that sacrifice. And it wasn't just the work of his hands, the work in the field, the things that he did that he was offering to God. Oh God, look how I've done this for you. I've created this for you. That wasn't the point of the sacrifice. The sacrifice was to show that sin, this original sin, this collusion with the devil, that God was going to make a way someday to reconcile that, and that the sacrificial lamb was just a symbology of something to come. And that Cain just didn't want to do that. He wanted to show something the work of his own hands. He didn't get the symbology. He wanted to create his own symbology. He was listening to Satan, Lucifer, the devil, in his ear. So when God accepted Abel's sacrifice because he followed the instructions and he rejected Cain's, Cain felt that it was okay to kill his brother, that he was justified to kill his brother. He thought he was delivering some kind of justice to his brother. Justice is relative. You know, you have tribal justice. One tribe wants to kill another tribe for some reason. They're encroaching on their land. You have Old West justice, where somebody rustled cattle or something and people believed it, thought it was true. If it was or wasn't, who knows? And you could hang somebody. But the justice out in the prairie, if somebody was a horse rustler, stole somebody's horse, you might kill them. Didn't have their horse to get around, that could be result in death. If it said in the scriptures that if you steal his millstone, the way that he grinds his food, makes his food, that the penalty was death because you were essentially killing him. He couldn't make food for his family. And it was a slow death, and so the penalty was death. Same thing with the horse rustler. In the city, though, maybe you'll wrestle a horse, but it didn't kill anybody. It just was a big inconvenience. So city justice sometimes was different than prairie justice. Justice throughout time has been kind of relative. Here in our era, today, we seem to be losing a sense of justice in America. The question is, who's going to be just? Who's going to be valiant for justice' sake? That's a scripture. What's at stake? Right now, the country is at stake. Somebody felt justified to go through all sorts of frauds and machinations, to cook and twist in every way possible the vote of the American people, because the American people might not make the right decision for the world, for the globalists, for the people that want to run the world. And so you might not go along with depopulating the world. which is their plan, down to 500,000. That's what Georgia Guidestone's 500,000, excuse me. You might not go along with the process they have in mind to depopulate the world. Why? Because they want to do it by freezing you out, cutting off the fuel to you, starving you out, cutting off the food supply, GMO food that screws up your system, medical care that isn't actually care to keep you, it's care to get rid of you. Everywhere you look in society, we're being set up for the big kill. All those people that have been planning this have been doing so not just for 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years, not even for 20, 30 years. This goes all the way back to the time of the garden. Cain wanted to kill